Hello, Priyanka.
Hi, Namrata. Good evening.
How are you? Good
I'm
evening.
well.
How are you?
Thank you. All wonderful.
Great, great, great. You look lovely.
Thank you. Thank
Hi,
you very much.
Pallavi. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Awaken Life. Our mentor for today, Priyanka Row, has just joined us, and great. All right. Okay, let's begin. Hello, Priyanka, and welcome to Awaken Life. As we all know, lovely people who are joining us, a small brief about what Awaken Life is. Awaken Life is an awareness movement in the field of conscious living,
Mhm.
and we aspire to bring in mentors from the same field who live their life consciously. And it's always lovely to experience their insight, hear them out, and see and learn, or rather, kind of understand what we can learn from their deep inside the years of work that the mentors have put into them. And maybe, like, small tidbits where we can adapt those tips in our own lives and make our lives much more meaningful. So a lot of people
Yeah.
come to us asking us, what is conscious living? What is it that Awaken Life is wanting to do? So conscious living is being aware and consciously choosing every action that you every action of yours, basically. Just 1 second. Sorry.
No
So
problem.
yeah, so I was just saying, conscious living is basically being aware and choosing every action that you are going to take in your life. So, for example, what kind of food you're eating, what kind of place you live in, what kind of clothes you choose to wear, what kind of people you choose to mingle around with, and what kind of thoughts come to your mind, which is what we are going to discuss today, right? And what
Right.
kind of higher purpose you're actually living towards. So all these falls under bracket of what conscious living is. And I think conscious living right now is the need of the hour. It's no more an option. We really need to put in a lot of mind. With the pandemic coming across, we all have realized that how important our own thoughts are, how important it is for you to understand what kind of mind space you are living in. And today we have you as our coach and mentor, Priyanka Row, who's a certified NLP practitioner, a certified image consultant, and a belief clearing practitioner. So she's been certified into a lot of fields. And today she will be guiding us into be your own therapist. It's such an interesting topic, Priyanka. Could you tell us a little more about yourself and how did you come up with this topic, be your own therapist?
Yeah, certainly. So I'm a nerdy bookworm who turned a luxury hotelier, who turned an internationally certified image consultant, and then I turned an e-commerce startup founder. And it's only then that I became a mind coach, and since then, it's my full-time role in India. But I spent about 15 years of my life abroad, in Europe particularly. And I developed certain very limiting belief systems then, because in the early 90s, India was looked down upon as a third world country, and studying there, fitting in there was not the easiest. So my entire 20s was me spent removing my limiting beliefs of, say, not being enough, low self-worth or underconfidence, or being needy, or feeling unworthy, whether it's in my personal relationship space or my workspace. So I, at that point in time, when I was in my 20s, help was not easily accessible. We didn't have an organization like Awaken Life which was supporting you. This is something which has really come up in a very, very big way after COVID. So almost for 10 years, I worked on myself. I learned how to be my own therapist, with sciences like subconscious programming, energy medicine, ancient Vedic science techniques, NLP, so on and so forth. So I believe that every phase of our life, brings a new us, brings a new challenge, a new phase. And it is not always, are you there, Namrata?
Yeah, I'm there. I think there's some lag, I think. Just one
Okay,
second.
all right. So I was saying that every phase of our life will bring about new challenges, a new set of circumstances, and we can't always depend on other people for help. COVID might have been a global pandemic when it comes to mental health as well. But our individual lives always have minor crises, challenges, and things that come up. And we can't always be running to somebody else for help, or books for help, or videos for help. They're all great, but we need to learn to build coping mechanisms. Now, therapy is expensive. Anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 rupees an hour is an average therapist, fee. Therapy takes time. In fact, talk therapy, can take hours, sorry, months. And therapy makes you dependent on someone else. So unless you're going to meet somebody, you don't feel that relief. So, unless it's a mental illness or a very chronic mental health issue, which for sure requires a doctor and a medical prescription. Nowadays, it's become a fad that, I'm feeling low, I take an antidepressant. I have a little bit of overthinking, I'm a little anxious in the mornings, let me take an anti-anxiety pill. But the thing is that no child is born anxious, no child is born depressed. It is not something that is inherent in us, it's not our original belief system. So we can't and we shouldn't be dependent on medicine always to help us overcome something like this, like overthinking or anxiety or a fear or feeling low, and things like that. So, which is why for me, being your own therapist means you need to build coping mechanisms on your own to be able to deal with situations. And I don't mean generic statements like this too shall pass, or whatever happens happens for the best, or another day will come my way, or life has ups and downs, it's okay, accept it. Not these kind of generic coping mechanisms, but absolute scientific coping mechanisms, practical coping mechanisms which are easily applicable and can be integrated in our daily lives by anybody. You don't need to be certified in a science to be able to use that technique. So for me, that is what means being your own therapist, building those kind of coping mechanisms on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's brilliant, Priyanka. I absolutely agree with you. One, it is quite time consuming to keep going and visiting therapists for, because like every person has a lot of issues. It's not just one issue. How many times will they keep going back to the therapist? We are not here to say that it is not a good choice, but the point is somewhere you need to build your own coping mechanism, like you beautifully put. We need to be equipped to be able to assess our own mental state and take it from there. And only when, in case of severe cases like you mentioned, or chronic clinically diagnosed cases, is where you can actually go and seek help. But we are absolutely equipped to take care of our own mental health with these little things that I'm sure you would be sharing with us. So why do you think, like, I have come across, Priyanka, a lot of people who don't really know what mental health is all about. One, they don't really understand the importance of emotional health, okay, and why it is important. I've also read in articles where it's a hiring skill. So people are now looking at people with high emotional intelligence, and only then they hire them, because they know they are capable of managing a lot of challenges. So that's how important it has become now. Yet a lot of people come to me and saying that, "Hey, what is all this emotional? Why are you getting so serious about all these things? Just take a chill pill, relax. You don't really have to overthink about, a lot of issues." So what would you like to say about these things? How important is for one to take care of their emotional health?
Right. So for me, based on my experience, whether it's personal or my clients, I feel emotional pain is more debilitating than physical pain. It can be more painful than physical pain. Your world can crumble around you with emotional pain. Sometimes physical pain need not be the case, and it can make you feel absolutely rock bottom and worthless, which physical pain might not be able to do that for you. So for me, it's very, very simple. I need to guard myself from emotional pain as much as possible, because it is more debilitating than physical pain. And I always tell my clients, it's not that you'll never be stressed or you'll never get anxious or you'll never have emotional lows. Our success should be the bounce back. You know, it what earlier would take me days or months or weeks to bounce back from should take me minutes or hours or half a day to bounce back from. That should be your measure of emotional health and your barometer of success. You know, how quickly do I bounce back? A lot of people have wrong barometers, that I should never be stressed, or I should never feel low, or I should never overthink. That's never going to happen. We're human beings. You know, that is life. Our bounce back should be the success. So that's where emotional health comes in, because emotional health helps you bounce back quicker, faster, and more importantly, on your own. And let's not forget, most roots of physical illness today, medical reports and studies has shown, has emotional roots. You know, have emotional stress, whether it's cancer, whether it is, you know, a stroke, whether it is heart conditions, they all have emotional roots. I mean, if that isn't important enough for you to understand the significance of emotional health, I don't know what else can be, right? So I put it right up there, in fact sometimes higher than physical health.
Absolutely. I love the way you put it, Priyanka, that emotional pain is much more troubling than your physical pain. You know, physical pain you can still have build endurance towards, but emotional pain it literally crumbles you down. You know, it's so difficult when you're when you're gripped with anxiety or some amount of insecurity or some restlessness or you're stressed or whatever, nothing. You really cannot pay attention to anything. You can't be present in your moment, and everything around you that is dependent on you just comes to a standstill. So, Naseem Naz is saying, don't study more about mental health. It causes mental illness. He's asking, am I right? Would you like to answer that, Priyanka?
So Naseem, what you're talking about is something called as heterosuggestion. When a message or a communication or a suggestion is coming to you from the outside, it can come from a book, a video, a person, a course, anything, right? Now, any heterosuggestion is positive or negative, or constructive and destructive, based on what label you give it. So if I attach myself completely to what I'm reading about mental health, to the extent that it totally becomes me, yes, it can bring me down mentally or emotionally, where I start owning other people's journeys or other people's mental health or other people's stories. If I'm able to absorb what I need to absorb constructively for my own emotional health and leave the rest and kind of create that level of boundary or border, then it doesn't become destructive. So it really depends on how far you're able to stay unattached to information as much as possible. Though I might add, I avoid subjects that upset me. And you know, it's not that I'm trying to run away from it. I just don't want to drop my frequency. I just don't want to affect my emotional well-being. You know, so I, for example, animal cruelty, it's something that really affects me. I avoid that subject completely. You know, if something else affects me, I avoid. I don't think it's escapism. I don't think I'm living in an ignorant world. I'm just protecting my energies and my mental health, because nobody else will do it for me. So I do avoid subjects that bring my frequency down, but one must learn to stay unattached to information and take what we need and leave the rest. I hope I answered your question, Nazim.
That's brilliant. Naseem, I hope she's answered your questions. If there are any more questions, people can just type in the comment section and we can take the questions towards the end of the session. That's
Yeah.
brilliantly put. We have to be very, very selective with in this era of where we are being bombarded with a lot of information. It is absolutely crucial for our own physical, mental, and emotional health that we discriminate between what kind of information we want to consume. Because, like you said, it's our own responsibility to protect our own energy. Nobody else is going to do it for us. And there are a lot of repercussions if your energy levels go down. And
And I'd like to
it's
add here,
absolutely
Namrita,
essential.
there's a very effective tool you can use in this case. You know, before accessing an app or an information, ask yourself: is this serving me or am I serving it? Is this serving me or am I serving this app, or is this app serving me? And if your answer is no, this is not serving me, let it go. And if your answer is yes, this is serving me, take it on. So a lot of apps, for example, it's just using us for their own business motives, so to say. But we have become a slave to these kind of apps. So I don't mean mental health apps here. I mean just generic apps, so to say. So even when it comes to mental health information, ask yourself: is this serving me, or am I serving it? And when you whatever answer you get, you will know what to do with it.
So, would you like to share some maybe takeaways or tips where, how can one be more mentally self-sufficient, emotionally and mentally more self-sufficient?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to share three techniques which are my personal go-to, and I probably teach them to most of my one-on-one clients as well as my master classes. So the number one technique, for me is EFT, tapping, emotional freedom techniques. I don't think in my 17 years studying the mind I've ever come across a technique as powerful as EFT. I've had clients who've removed rape memories, suicidal thoughts, trauma, abuse, overthinking, low self-worth. It's a brilliant technique. I've used it myself for more than 10 years. It is my personal go-to as well. If you've never come across this, Google this: emotional freedom techniques, EFT. In fact, in my masterclass on childhood trauma and fear masterclass, I teach this technique live. And this will be your best friend for life. So basically, EFT is like acupressure, but we're using your fingers. If you kind of activate certain acupressure points on you, it can release emotions, feelings, and the key word being permanently: stress, anxiety. So that's my number one recommendation to all those listening in: EFT. Number two is a very ancient technique called as, and sorry, so coming back to EFT, why it is, self-sufficient is: number one, you don't have to pay someone to get it done on you. You can do it on your own. You don't have to depend on a therapist. It has no side effects. It is something you can do at your own time and convenience and anywhere. You don't need to depend on equipment or anything of that sort. It's just your fingers and your body. And you can teach other people this, so that's why that's my number one self-sufficient technique that I would recommend. The second one is, a very ancient Vedic science technique, Namrita. It's called Vasana, Daha, Tantra. Vasana means deep-rooted subconscious patterns. Daha means burning. And Tantra means technique. So in this technique, you kind of are burning deep-rooted subconscious patterns. And it is a technique which, again, you can Google. It's a technique where you can write about painful memories, painful incidents, painful, phases of your life. And when you write, what happens is that all those memories move from your subconscious to that piece of paper. And then you need to crumple that piece of paper and burn it. Now, this burning is not theatrical or dramatic. It is not Jagvi met with Shahid Kapoor burn his girlfriend's photo and flush it down the toilet. There's a scientific backing to it. As for the law of conservation of energy, energy cannot be created or destroyed, but you can transform and transfer. In this very ancient Sanatana Dharma technique, you're doing both. You transfer your subconscious to the conscious mind, which is learning to write, and to the piece of paper. And then when you burn it, it transforms into heat, flames, smoke, and ash, which is also energy. So clients literally have not been able to recollect details of painful incidents, memories, and experiences with this technique because you've completely transformed it. On an average, I would recommend you write about painful memories 2 to 3 times. And what you do, the ash does not matter. You can flush it down the toilet, you can throw the dustbin can. The ash does not matter. The burning is important. My clients, some of them get goosebumps. Some of them feel a heaviness of their chest. Some feel lighter. Some don't recollect details. Some start crying. It's an energy release. And it's an amazing technique.
So I have a question about this technique,
Yes.
about the Vasana Daha Tantra.
Yes.
I want to know, you said from subconscious mind to conscious mind, and then the energy is transformed, right? Okay.
Yes.
But what if I don't recollect about those painful memories, if they're deep rooted in my subconscious mind and I'm at a conscious level, I'm not aware of it, you know.
Yeah.
So sometimes in past life regression or certain things come up which consciously you just don't recollect at all. What about those things? So is
So
this
this technique is
technique only
not
good
meant for
for?
past life.
No, so is this technique? So sometimes our mind wants to protect us, and therefore it erases, or rather, not really erases, but it kind of just closes yourself on that
Yeah.
memory. आपको याद ही नहीं रहेगी कि वो
Yeah.
कुछ. But then there is some trauma that is coming up. Maybe you were 5 year old, or a 3 year old, or a 6 year old, whatever. Okay, so at a conscious level, you don't have a memory of it, but somewhere like you are stuck, like in a inner child healing processes and all, where they take you back to an age of 5 6 and whatever, where
Correct.
consciously you don't have a memory of it. What about those memories also kind of work
Yeah.
around here?
So what happens is that when you start writing, these deep-rooted unconscious memories will start popping up. Because if I wrote about an incident once and the next day I write again, something else will come up. Then it will kind of start surfacing. So as you start writing, it will start surfacing because it can't go anywhere. It is stored in your subconscious. It will start bringing it up. Number one. Number two, in cases where you don't remember memories, I would recommend doing EFT first, where you're releasing feeling numb or releasing whatever emotions you're feeling right now. When I remove the emotions on the top, I can then start accessing the storage, so to say, which is the memory. So I'm actually accessing the energy system in me and the subconscious system in me parallelly. And that's why both EFT and Vasana Daha work so brilliantly together, because they're tackling your energy patterns and your subconscious mind simultaneously. There's no way you can't release it. It's a technique that is way before us and way after us. It'll stay. So that's what I would recommend for those who are not able to recollect details. It will 100% come up, but just kind of start with EFT first.
That's brilliant. I really like the combination of techniques that you have given us and how this whole thing is going to help us. Thank you so much for this. So people are typing in the questions. I would just request everyone to type in their question, but the answers will be taken towards the end of the session once the interactive session is over. But please keep on pouring in your questions. I'm sure we'll be more than happy to answer them. Okay, so what are the key fundamentals of therapy and how can one apply in their own lives?
So I'm going to address this question from a be your own therapist point of view. It's very, very simple. If you're able to address your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and a third layer, which I usually work with, which is your energy mind, that's sufficient to kind of bring about some long-term transmission change in you. Now, your conscious mind, remember guys, is your logical, rational thinking mind. Right now, your conscious mind is listening to you. It is awake when you are awake. It is usually the mind that is overthinking, that has mental noise, that is not able to concentrate and focus, that gives you excuses or gives you objection that this technique is not going to work, or this is rubbish, or I don't think this is going to be of any help to me. It kind of gives you excuses. That's your conscious mind. The good news is this mind, which is always talking to you like a tape recorder, that to a broken one, is only 10% of your mind. 90% of your mind is your subconscious mind. And that's the storehouse of all your memories, experiences, what you were told as a child, what you experienced as a child, your adulthood experiences, your belief systems, your thoughts, your feelings, everything, your patterns is all saved in your subconscious mind. And your everyday decisions, actions, thoughts, your approach to life, what you think of yourself is all coming from subconscious mind. So you need to work on your conscious mind and your subconscious mind simultaneously to create a lifetime transformation shift. And then comes the third layer, which a lot of people miss out on in their personal growth work or self-help, which is your energy mind. Now, energy here is, I'm not referring to Reiki or healing, which are also wonderful sciences. By energy here, I mean your patterns, your feelings, your emotions, your experiences are all energy. And I explained to you earlier how energy cannot be destroyed. So they sit in you like tenants without paying rent. and they keep getting triggered and they keep surfacing and they keep overpowering and overwhelming you. So you can release these energy from your body permanently with Western energy medicine techniques like EFT, as well as ancient Vedic science techniques, one of them being Vasana, Daha, which I mentioned, quite often permanently. So when you're working on energy techniques, subconscious programming, and your conscious mind, the way you think, the way you dialogue back with the mind, the way you reject, the way you use affirmations or you use mental commands, when you work on the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the energy mind simultaneously, there is no way that you cannot be a successful therapist on your own. Because it has to work. It is the law. It's beyond us. So for me, those are the three fundamentals.
Brilliant. So your conscious mind, subconscious mind, and your energy mind. So we
Yes.
got to be working on all the three levels to be able to see, effective changes in our lives, right?
Yes. Yes.
And these two techniques that you have mentioned will help us deal with these three levels of our minds, right? The
So
EFT
Vasana
and
Daha
the
and EFT?
Vasana.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, because Vasana Daha removes memories from your subconscious. EFT is working in your energy mind. And EFT is also about relaxing your automatic nervous system. It's a very powerful thing to relax your automatic nervous system, which automatically relaxes your conscious mind as well, which is your thinking, logical, rational mind. People actually sleep better with EFT. People are able to manage pain and symptoms or even physical illnesses better with EFT. So it works on your conscious mind as well. Yeah.
So, who do you think or should need therapy, or what kind of, when can one realize that, okay, this is going beyond me and I think I need to seek therapy?
Yeah.
What do you think
I
about
think
that?
when you reach a point in time where um, you kind of lose purpose in life, like you're aimless, you're directionless, you're numb, you are stuck and lost. You feel there is no hope in life, or you feel I'm so unworthy that I don't even want to meet people. Like I've heard this from people. I don't even want to meet people because I feel it's a waste of their time. That is, such statements are when you feel you should take help, because that means you're not able to help yourself. Because
True.
if I feel I'm rock bottom, I feel I can't help myself. If I feel I'm worthless, that means I can't help myself. If I feel that there is no hope in life, mera lucky kharab hai, my destiny is bad, and I have some bad karma, and this is it, then you've clearly lost the power within you to help yourself. So I think these kind of statements should be red flags for you. Also, when you feel my life is without purpose, it has no direction, I'm lost, or you're numb, you're not able to feel emotions, you're not able to remember anything. I'm just living life like a robot. I don't
Yeah.
feel anything.
And on an autopilot mode.
Yes, yes, I don't feel happy, I don't feel sad, I'm just numb. If you're numb, you will not be able to work on yourself, because then you'll not even know what to work on. So that's when you need to take help.
Yeah, absolutely. When you feel that there is no meaning to your life, to your existence, and like you said, you feel absolutely worthless and hopeless and numb, you are unable to feel emotions and actually look forward to life. That's
Yes,
when I think you are beyond self-repair, and that's when you need to take help from professionals like yourself. That's
yes.
absolutely brilliant. So, I think there are quite a lot of questions pouring in, so without making
Okay.
them wait for too long. This question is from Margie, I think so. What if you know that whatever your life right now, whether good or bad, is just because of your belief system rooted in you, and you can now change it the way you want, and you can't take this fact, and if it starts overwhelming you and starts giving you panic attacks?
Actually, what you mentioned, Margie, is kind of like a conflicting belief system there and then. Because you're telling me that I know it's all in me and it's in my control, but I'm overwhelmed. And the reason why you're overwhelmed very simply is because the mind, remember, will protect you from anything new, different, outside your comfort zone, anything that it's not familiar with, thinking it is protecting you from threat, danger. This comes from our tribal roots when we were in the prehistoric age living in caves. The mind had to be negative. Is there a lion behind the bush? Is there an enemy tribe coming around the corner? Is there a storm coming up? Will I reach my cave before sunset? Will I get food here? The mind has to think negative because it's trying to protect you. This value of the mind has not changed. This is what the psychologists call the negativity bias of the mind. So when you're saying that, I have these belief systems and I know only I can help myself, it's all in me, the mind will say, you can't do it. This is not going to work, or you're going to fail because it's new to it. It is outside its comfort zone. So it's going to give you excuses. Fight those excuses back. Remember, the conscious mind talking is only 10% of the mind. It is just being a bigger tape recorder. Fight it back. In fact, EFT really helps in removing panic attacks and overwhelm. So if you study the technique, Margie, if I'm not mistaken, or if you join I have a masterclass coming up on Sunday where I actually teach this to reduce overthinking and panic attacks as well with EFT and overwhelm, really. You can first drop these emotions with EFT and then attack your belief systems, and you will be able to do it. That's my recommendation to you, Margie.
Margie, I hope we were able to answer your question. And in case there's more clarification, you can type in the comments. So the next question is from Naseem, or Nazim, I think so. How can I know whether I came out of mental illness as a self-therapist?
Oh, so simple. You're happy. You're feeling great about yourself. You feel triumphant. Your behavior patterns have changed. For example, if in meetings you couldn't speak up earlier, you start speaking up. Or if you were not able to say no to people, suddenly you're able to say no. Or you find yourself being happy from within and not from external reasons. When you see your patterns changing and you see your external world changing, you know that you have worked on yourself. And the bottom line, Azim, is that you're feeling great about it. You feel you're feeling good. You're feeling positive. Remember, feeling is the GPS. Always go with feelings over words. If you're feeling good, you're through. If you're not feeling good, you still have work upon. And don't get worried if you feel good and then sometime later there is a dip. That's natural. That is normal. Again, bounce back. Remember, the success is the bounce back. Bounce back again, and again go back into feeling frequency. So I hope I answered your question, as it's very, very simple. Go with your feeling.
So yeah, I think those were the only questions, two of them. And Margie has asked, will this live be saved and posted? Yes, Margie, this live will be available for you to view it later. So you can always go back to it and get a deeper meaning out of the conversation that we are just having right now with Priyanka. Okay, I'm just scanning through if there are some more questions.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have any questions, put it in the chat window, we'll pick it up.
Yes. So tell us something more about what other kind of techniques do you, Priyanka, use for helping your clients?
I'm a huge advocate of mental commands. These are not affirmations. Affirmations, while they are great, they take a really long time to program. And a lot of times you don't feel it. I'm just repeating the words. I don't feel it, then I kind of let it go. I'm abundant, or I have an amazing life, or I'm extraordinary, I'm a diva, or things like that. It's just the mind, the bullshit detector in the mind says this is bullshit. Or the mind says, what do you mean you're abundant? Just the other day you felt you were falling short of money. Or what do you mean you're extraordinary? You just felt like you've not done anything in your life just the other day. things like that. Or you were feeling low. What do you mean you're happy? So this is basically how you can really, this is how, the mind can object to affirmations. I use a lot of mental commands. Mental commands are belief systems that you are born with. So you can create affirmations around belief systems that you were originally born with. So every subconscious mind is born fearless, enough, worthy, whole, complete. That is our original belief system. Every child is born, no child is born with a fear. No child is born feeling that they don't deserve love or happiness. Every child believes they can be, do, and have whatever they want. So if you can build belief systems, mental commands or affirmations around your original belief systems, they are more likely to stick, and they're more likely to get programmed in you faster, quicker, on average 3 to 5 weeks. And they're more likely to create more transmission shifts in you than affirmations which are not your original self. Like, for example, I don't want to be a diva. So why should I say I am a diva? My mind might object to it. That, but do you want to be a diva? I'm just very happy being plain old Priyanka. So these are not the original belief systems. So when you're designing your affirmations, I always, share that, go with belief system that you're born with.
That's brilliant. I mean, it's absolutely new to me. I've never heard about mind commands. That's what you said, right? Mind commands?
Mental commands, yeah.
Mental commands. Sorry, sorry. So, yeah, I mean, it's a new take on it. Is this a technique? I mean, is it an established technique, or is it something that you have learned on your own and have come up with it on your own,
Yeah. So I
with your own
obviously,
practice?
so one of the foremost coaches in the world who has taught me mental commands is Marissa Peer. Marissa Peer is one of the world's best hypnotherapists and UK's #1 therapist. And when I was studying the mind, almost some 5-6 years back, she was the first person who inspired me with the power of words and how powerful words are. And then eventually I kind of design my own way of designing mental commands. When do you use mental commands? How do you use mental commands? And then I kind of made that the cornerstone of my mind coaching. So it's something I learned not directly, but I got inspired by it. I probably would give credit to Marissa Peer for it. So if any of you have never heard of Marissa Peers, Google her. She's a brilliant speaker, brilliant videos, and she is a very accomplished clinical hypnotherapist and one of the foremost coaches when it comes to subconscious programming in the world.
That's brilliant. I mean, I have honestly, I have never been a fan myself of affirmations because they never really worked for me. Because, like you mentioned, your subconscious mind, your conscious mind will constantly keep conflicting, your own belief system that you're trying to feed it in. And if you don't really want to be that, and then you're giving it commands related to that, it's not going to accept. It's quite intelligent that way, your mind.
Yeah,
So you got to really understand where that discomfort is coming from and then work around it. Okay,
correct.
so Dr. S.J. Cards is how we can be your client. So Priyanka, would you like to answer that?
Oh, um, sure. If you can just DM me, uh, and I will be able to help you with this. Alternatively, I'm just putting in my website, and you can reach out to me on the website, or just send me a DM on Instagram, and I should be able to help you. Thank you very, very much. How did you become a mind coach? Can anyone become that? So Sanjana, I wish there was like a course that teaches you to be a mind coach. I probably would have been one a lot earlier. I'll talk about my own story. Mind coaching is not my profession. It's my purpose in life. It's something that came to me very early in my life because I started studying the mind at 20 because of my own belief systems. At that point in time, I was not academically equipped to be a mind coach, or I had never ever thought I'd be one because I was always a hotelier and I'm a business management student. So it's something that literally when I surrendered to the universe, it came my way, and it just grew. To give you an idea of how powerful purpose is, only since 2020, my mind coaching grew across 55 cities in 4 countries. And I've done over 65 masterclasses, and I have close to about 3,000 clients only since 2020. This is not me. I don't take any credit for it. When you're living a purpose, resources, opportunities, people come to you to deliver that purpose. So I'm just the messenger. I take absolutely zero credit for it. So I can't give you a direct answer, but what I can help you with is what sciences or certifications can help you become one. So definitely study subconscious programming, NLP, belief clearing, quantum healing. You can study hypnotherapy. You can study, Ho'oponopono. You can study alternative therapeutic tools. And my recommendation, Sanjana, is build your own approach. Build, and that will of course come with time, based on evidence, proof, and its impact being measured in clients. But build your own methodology, and do it for the right reasons, is my recommendations. Do it for the right reasons, and the universe will automatically bless you with an abundant career or a profession. And yes, anyone can become that. If I could become one, anyone can become that. Like I told you, I'm academically qualified to be a brand manager strategist. I am professionally a hotelier for more than 10 years. As an entrepreneur, I am a image consultant and an e-commerce food delivery startup owner. And now I'm a professional mind coach. It's not even remotely related to any of that. So anyone can become that, Sanjana. Wish you the very best if that's what you wish to do.
We have another question. What is the power of manifestation and how does it work?
Um, well, the power of manifestation basically means that um, we are the creators of our life. We are not consumers of it. Life is not working on default mode. There's no God sitting up there with a computer saying, "I've got 2 units of happiness. I'm going to give both to Namrata, and Priyanka doesn't get to be happy today." Or I've got 1 unit of money. I'm going to give that to Sanjana, and Priyanka doesn't get to gets to make any money, this month. No, each one, we are living our own path, our own journey, and we are designing that journey. Yes, law of destiny plays a role, law of karma plays a role, but remember, karma is also the consequences of our own choices. So free will and free choice are our two biggest superpowers. We can exercise free will and free choice to change the direction of our paths and journeys. And this is not me talking. Every spiritual scripture will say this. Every spiritual religious book will also say this. So the manifestation means you use the power of thought, the power of belief, the power of mind, the power of words to start creating it, and then magic starts happening. Like almost on an everyday basis, I think of someone and that person will message me, call me, or reach out to me. Or I would message a client and the client says, "Oh, I was just thinking about it and I wanted to ask you this question." And I just call to say hi, or I just message to say hi. It's manifestation. So that's the power of manifestation. And you basically, there are tons of manifestation tools you can learn, from creative visualization, words, pictures, vision boards, meditation, but one technique that I can really recommend is the Silva method, the Silva mind control method. Google it. There's an amazing book on it too. It's one of the most successful books on dynamic meditation, creative visualization. In fact, Vishen Lakhiani, who's the founder of Mind Valley, cured acne as a 14-year-old boy using the Silva mind control method. He started his career as a Silva therapist or a Silva teacher. So I think they call themselves teachers. So the Silva mind control method is what I would recommend for anybody who wants to start manifestation. So yeah, that I hope I answered your question on the power of manifestation. It's real. It's very powerful.
Uh, what do you do actually? I'm recently hearing a lot about this and I'm curious about it. Please share details. It's SPA underscore MRK. I can't even pronounce that name. I really don't know what this question means. Priyanka, did you understand? What do you actually do? What do you do actually? I'm recently hearing a lot about this and I'm curious about it. Please share
Okay, I think
details.
maybe he's asking what I do as a mind coach. So, as a mind coach, what I do is I help clients overcome fears, limiting beliefs, past childhood baggage, conditioning, and trauma, and limiting thoughts on your own without being dependent on someone else, using Western sciences like neuro linguistic programming, belief clearing, subconscious programming, energy medicine, and psychology, as well as Indian ancient Vedic science techniques. So I make people emotionally and mentally self-sufficient. I'm not a counselor. I don't do talk therapy. I'm not a therapist. I don't perform a therapy. I teach tools and techniques that you can do it on your own. So I hope, if that was your question, I hope I answered it.
So I have a question after listening to all of this, Priyanka, so me and Ruby, we've been into this field of conscious living or living your purpose for a while now, almost a decade or so, right? So we every time we try and discuss certain issues and certain challenges that either of us are facing in our lives, we sometimes are not able to comprehend that what is the belief that is holding us back, what is that thought that is holding us back. Now at least we know that there is a belief system that is at work. There are a lot of people who don't even realize that the belief system is what actually makes you or breaks you, right?
Yes.
So, for someone who's an absolute beginner, who doesn't really know the power of the mind and so they're so busy and consumed in their own thoughts that they don't even realize how many thoughts they're experiencing, what kind of thoughts they are experiencing in the first place, because they're just not mindful enough. So,
Yeah.
what would you like to advise them? How can they kind of tap into what is the quality of their thought? Because their thoughts are creating their destiny, right? And if you're talking about
Yeah.
manifestation, if you're talking about creating your own life and not just being consumed by it, then
Yeah.
you got to be consciously creating it, isn't it? For
Yeah.
one to create that life consciously, one has to be even aware that they have the power to create it. And that comes from one's mind, from their thoughts. So there are people who are absolutely not aware of it.
So I'm going to address this question in two parts. First part is I'm a strong believer that when the student is ready, the teacher arrives. So there is a time and place for you to learn it. If you're not ready, you will not learn it. And sometimes you have to allow yourself to reach that point in time. Otherwise, whatever you absorb doesn't make sense to you. So there are a lot of people who don't get it, and even though they want to get it, they don't get it because maybe they've not reached that level of spiritual growth or evolution, in which case it's okay. Allow it to happen naturally. But secondly, if you want to just like bare minimum start with your thoughts, a very simple technique which I love sharing is called noted. Every time your mind goes
Sorry,
negative,
I didn't hear the name of the technique. What did you say?
noted, noted. Noted.
Noted.
Noted.
N-O-T.
Noted.
Okay.
Every
Noted.
time the mind goes negative, just say, noted. Like mentally, noted. Oh, I'm negative again. Noted. Oh, again I've gone negative. Noted. Oh, there again, negative thought, noted. You're not running away from it. You're not trying to change it because you don't know how to change the negative thoughts because you're not learned it. You're not distracting yourself or burying those thoughts. You're simply noting it. But here's the power of this very simple thing you can start off with, even if you feel you're not ready. With awareness comes liberation. What you see disappears. What you resist persists. With awareness comes liberation. What you see disappears. What you resist persists. So, just by noting your thoughts, you will see a tremendous reduction in your negative thought process. And by that, the words will automatically reduce, the negative words will reduce, your negative reactions will reduce. So, you can just start with this simple technique. And then, once you start becoming aware of the thoughts, then you can start changing them. So the first step is awareness. The next step is action to change it. To give you an idea of the power of noted, I'm just trying to. Oh, it's probably not here. I just got a feedback from a client who's on my online course who said the word who practiced the word noted, and she just gave me a feedback just like half an hour back saying that just with noting 50% of her negative thoughts have dropped this week, and she's not even tried to change them. Her name is, she just gave me a note on my online course. So, my recommendation to people like that is first be aware, don't attempt to change it, otherwise, you'll get overwhelmed, and then learn to change it when you're ready.
That's brilliant. It's such, you are sharing such jewels today. I can't tell you. They're so precious. All these techniques are so, so handy, and absolutely, you've just been giving away so selflessly about it. I'm so happy that you've come on Awaken Life and we've had the opportunity to interact with you. Okay, so Ritu Sharma 18.1 is saying, can I see the program recording? Yes, of course, Ritu, it will be saved on our grid. You can go back to this very, very insightful session that we're having with Priyanka at any given point in time. How to create, so Mayuresh underscore 14 is asking how to create mind instructions which work long term.
Yeah,
So
I just
maybe
answered.
talking about mental commands, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. So I answer the question. Go with belief systems you were born with. So the easiest way to do is ask yourself who you were as a child. You know, you were confident, or you were happy, or you felt you were worthy, you felt you were complete, you felt fearless, you felt enough, you felt perfect. Whatever words resonate with you that you thought of yourself as a child, as a young child, like the literally the toddler who was born, you know go with those belief systems and then design mental instructions around those. Your mind cannot reject them because that's how you're born. The mind says, I remember, that was me. Oh my god, I forgot, I want to be that again. It can't say this is bullshit, what rubbish, who the hell are you talking about. It can't say that. So go with those kind of belief systems and design your own mental commands or affirmations.
I'm actually taking notes for myself, Priyanka. I'm so excited like a child. All right, so
No
Ruby saying
worries.
this is
Thank you.
so
I'm glad.
brilliant.
I'll be
Yeah.
patient. If you want to take some more notes, I'll wait.
So I'm like in a house of candy, you know. When I get to know all these things for myself, I get super excited because you feel so empowered, you know, that something so interesting which you didn't really know existed. And believe me, you are really doing a great service to people. You're giving away a lot of tools because honestly, therapy sometimes people cannot comprehend. It's not viable for everyone to go to a therapist, right? So if only we could help ourselves to a point where we can actually deepen our own understanding about authentic living, about conscious living, about spirituality. And then of course the teachers will keep appearing as in when you keep, evolving on your
And
own,
the
right?
right teachers will come your way.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
Ruby saying this is so brilliant. Absolutely. Yes, Ruby, I am absolutely loving this session of ours. So connect with Aman is saying absolutely loved your content and what you're putting out in the world. Just wanted to know uh oh okay, Aman, this is not the place for social media marketing. You can of course go and get in touch with Priyanka and yeah. Ritu Sharma is saying, I joined later and want to learn some techniques. Ritu, I think you can contact Priyanka. She's mentioned her website details and you can even DM her. Her DM handle is Priyanka. Would you like to please help?
Yeah. You can just DM me, Mind Coach Priyanka Rao. I manage my Instagram handle personally. So just reach out to me. I'm just going to put it up here. Um, and you can
Honestly,
DM
I
me.
don't know how to pin that. Otherwise, I could have just pinned your website details there and people.
No worries. Just find me
Um,
as Mind Coach Priyanka Rao.
Okay, want to speak to your team, please share your contact number. I don't really know which team you want to speak to, but you can, of course, DM either of us, either Awaken Life or Coach Priyanka Rao, and he can take it from there.
Correct.
Okay, just going through if there are. Okay, okay, all right. I think that should be all. And we've had such a brilliant and insightful session, Priyanka. I can't express in words how excited I am and how thrilled I am that we came across you. And it was absolutely it was so precious for us to know that we can actually change our destiny by just working on our three levels of mind that you have described, like energy mind, conscious mind, and subconscious mind. And it's so empowering to know that something like this even exists, and people like yourself are actually helping people gain this kind of mastery over themselves. And thank you so much for being with us on Awaken Life. And any last words, Priyanka, on
No,
this life?
you were never born with any of the challenges. You want to live with them. Take control. Start creating a shift, and even a moment can shift your life. It takes a subconscious mind anywhere from a second to up to 28 days to shift. It can even be a moment. So claim that power. Don't give it to other people or other external sources, and remember that you don't have to live with any of these challenges.
Yes, we are not born with these challenges, and we should definitely have such beautiful tools to take care of it. So, there's one last question. What is the difference between therapist and your work?
I'm sure I'm a therapist on a broader sense, but often a therapist uh, kind of performs a therapy on you. It could be hypnotherapy, it could be healing, it could be Reiki, it could be past life regression. More often than not, therapists usually perform a level of therapy on you. I don't perform therapy on you. I teach you how to do it on your own, and that's primarily the difference I would recommend. But on a broader scale, I'm also a therapist.
I hope she's answered your last question, and that should be all from Awaken Life. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. It's been such a delight to see the questions and the love pouring in for Priyanka and the content. We are glad that you all are receiving the content, and feeling really empowered with this. And thank you so much for being with us, Priyanka. Hope to do many more enlightening sessions
Yeah,
with you.
absolutely. Thank
And
you, Ruby. I think you're online somewhere. So thank you for reaching out to me, and thank you, Namrata, for having this wonderful conversation. You've been extremely warm and kind, and accepting of whatever I shared. And yes, may this be the start of many more.
thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And for the ones who requested or asked if this live is going to be available, yes, it's going to be available on our grid. You can anytime go and access it. Priyanka's website details have been mentioned. She can be DM'd and contacted for any more further queries. And that should be all from us, and signing off right now. Thank you.
Take care, everybody. God bless.
Ruby Singh loved every bit of the session. Yes, absolutely. Me too.
Thank you, Ruby.
All right. Bye bye.
See ya. Bye bye.
Hey friends, if you found the video interesting, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also hit the bell icon to get notified every time we upload a new video.